Hello, third graders, and welcome to another lesson in math. Today is lesson 3.8, and we are going to focus on scaled picture graphs. But before we do that, we're going to work on a little mental math and fluency. You will need to get your calculator from your toolkit. Pause the video, go get your calculator, bring the whole toolkit back with you. Actually, you might need some other things, and then unpause the video and we'll get started. So you're going to get your calculator and we're going to use your calculator to do some skip counting. And first we're going to count by tens from 50. So you need to clear out your calculator. There's a C button. Push that C button several times and it will clear out the calculator. Then type in 50, 50. And you're going to count by tens. You're going to start at 50 and count by tens to 120. So the way that you do that on your calculator, you cleared it out, you've typed in 50, hit the plus sign, and then type in 10, and then equals. And then you should have 60. Keep tapping that equals sign until you get to 120. So you should be at 60. Hit the equal sign 70. Hit the equal sign 80. Hit the equal sign 90. Hit the equal sign 100. Hit the equal sign 110. Hit the equal sign 120. Clear, clear, clear it. Clear it out. Now we're going to count backwards by fives. So what you're going to do, you've cleared it. Type in 120 and then the minus sign. 5. So you've done 120 minus 5. Hit the equal sign. Every time you hit the equal sign, it should go down by 5. So 120, 115, 110, 100, 95, 90. We're going to try that a few more times. Clear, clear, clear it. We're going to count by 20s. We're going to start at 0. So tap in 0 plus 20. And then you're going to click that equal sign. Every time you click that equal sign, we should go up by 20. So it's 0 plus 20. Click equal. Should be 20. And then 40, 60, 80, 100. Clear, clear, clear it. We're going to count back by tens. Clear it out. Type in 100 minus 10. And then you're going to click that equal sign. All right? So 100, click 90, click 80, click 70, click 60, click 50, click 40, click 30, click 20, click 10, click 0. Clear, clear, clear it out. We're going to try it again. And we're going to skip count by 25s. We're starting at 100, and we're going to go up to 300. So you're going to type in 100 plus 25. We'll click that equal sign, and we'll count. So you have 100, click, 125, click, 150, click, 175, click, 200, click, 225, click, 250, click, 275, click, 300. All right, clear, clear, clear it out. We're going to count back, excuse me, by 50s. We're going to start at 300. So you're going to type in 300 minus 50, and we're going to get ready with that equal sign. Click 250, click 200, click 150, click 100, click 50, click 0. Very good. Put it away or put it to the side, the calculator, and we're going to get started with our number talk. So for our number talk, I have 7 plus 8 plus 3 plus 2. I want you to think about what you're going to get when you add those numbers together. And really, probably the most important thing I want you to think about is, what can I do to these numbers? How can I arrange these numbers so that I can add easier numbers in my head? Well, when I look at this problem, I'm thinking I can make a 10. If I take my 7 and add it to 3, that's 10. Oh, if I take 8 and add it to 2, that's also 10. And I know that 10 plus 10 is 20. So 7 plus 8 plus 3 plus 2 is 20. Sometimes, boys and girls, if you can manage to make 10s, 7 and 3, 8 and 2, then you can more easily add the numbers together in your head. Okay. Now, last week, you worked on page 79 in your math journal, but you didn't have the pattern block templates to do, or the shapes, okay? And I said use something else, use color words, use numbers, use some objects that you have from home. What I would like you to do today, because I have sent home some pattern shapes for you to do today's lesson. So on a scratch paper or your whiteboard even, see if you can copy this paper, okay? So you can just put some headings: triangle, wide rhombus, narrow rhombus, hexagon, trapezoid. You don't need to worry about copying these words down. You don't need to do that. But then go ahead and see if you can copy down this bar graph, okay? And I would do a scale of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm just going to kind of make this up for myself. Maybe I had 3 and 5 and 4 and 2 and 4. So I'm going to make my bar graph. I had 3 triangles. So I'm going to shade in neatly 3 parts of my bar graph to represent that I had 3 triangles, 5 wide rhombuses, 4 narrow rhombuses, 2 hexagons, and 4 trapezoids. So I'm going to have you pause the video here, copy this down, make a bar graph on your whiteboard or on a piece of scratch paper, and in these spaces here, you're going to write down the number of those shapes that I've sent home. And we're going to use this information to make another kind of graph. So I'm going to pause it and you create. Redone. I want you to take those same numbers of shapes that you had and go to page 81. It looks like this. All right, go to page 81. This is page 81 on my screen. I just made it bigger so that I could write better. So what I want you to do is we're going to make a new type of graph, and this is called a picture graph. So all graphs have a title. The title of this bar or this picture graph that we're going to make is going to be pattern blocks. Okay, then I'm going to take the names of my pattern blocks and I'm going to write them on these lines. Triangle, wide rhombus, narrow rhombus, hexagon, trapezoid. Okay, now I want you to focus down here where it says the word key. When we make a picture graph, we use a symbol to represent a certain number of objects. So I'm going to use the symbol, just simple. I'm going to make it be an X. And each X on my pattern block, or on my picture graph, is going to equal one pattern block. So if I have 3 triangles, 1, 2, 3 X's. I have 5 wide rhombuses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 narrow rhombuses, 2, 3, 4. 2 hexagons, 1, 2. 4 trapezoids, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have created a picture graph. A picture graph uses a symbol to represent the objects in my graph. It's a little bit different than a bar graph because I don't have a scale, do I? Not for my picture graphs. All right, there we go. So some words, some vocabulary words I want to talk about. The scale of a graph is the intervals of numbers that you would use on a bar graph. Okay? A picture graph uses pictures or symbols to represent the data on a picture graph. And the key is the explanation of what the symbols mean or how many objects the symbols mean. So you are going to work on creating your very own picture graph, and we are going to use actually page 82 in your math journal. Here's the data for our picture graph. It's going to be numbers of cars washed. So we use some tally marks to collect our data. On Friday, 8 cars. On Saturday, 5, 10, 15, 16 cars. On Sunday, 5, 10, 14 cars were washed. Now the key for their picture graph is a rectangle, and each rectangle equals 4 cars. So on Friday, they washed 8 cars. So they have 2 rectangles because each rectangle means 4 cars. So 4 cars, 8 cars. On Saturday, they washed 16 cars. How many rectangles would we need? We would need 4. Each one equals 4 cars. So 4, 8, 12, 16. What about Sunday? On Sunday, we did 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. Well, there's 4, 8, 12, 16. Oh, Mrs. Floyd doesn't know how to count. That's not 18 cars on Sunday. That's 14 cars. So I've got 2 rectangles. There's 4. That's 8. Another rectangle is 12. But I only have 14 cars. So how would I represent that? Well, it would be 2 more. I would need 2 more cars. So I don't need a full rectangle. I would need a half of a rectangle. And there is my 14 cars. Okay? So what you could do, you could make a bar graph or picture graph. Maybe you could do it with colors, your favorite colors again. Grab a handful of crayons, sort them out. Make a symbol. It doesn't have to be an X. It doesn't have to be a rectangle. You could do a circle for 2. And if it would end up being 1 crayon, you would do a half a circle, because then that would equal 1. See what you can come up with. And we're going to do some more practicing tomorrow on making picture graphs.